when you open us up.
All right. Thought the second half we played hard, competed. I go to one stat. We had how many turnovers? 18 turnovers. They had 20 points off those turnovers. That's the game. That's the game. The aggressor wins. They came out initially in the first half. They looked like they were Louisville. We looked like we were App State. Looked like we were playing in their arena. It cannot happen. There has to be some pride, some toughness about being at home and coming out and fighting to get wins. That's what this program is built on. The passion that it is to protect your home court. I guess we're learning that, and I'll take the blame for that. This place is special. This program is special, and I need them to understand how special, and not with their words, with the way they fight, with the way they play, with their togetherness. I thought that other team, App State, was well coached. I thought they did some good things. We knew they wanted this game to be an offensive game, and we knew that we couldn't allow them to make this an offensive game. And by offensive game, I mean you score, I score. You score, I score. We're not comprised like that. We're not built like that. We have to be a defensive team. If we want to win against anybody, every person that steps on that floor has to be productive. If I knew walking into the game that I would be playing the game without Jalen, I would have said it's a loss. But hopefully we live and learn. I know they're really torn up in the locker room in there. They feel bad. And this is for everybody to really understand. If you watch us practice, you'll understand what we're dealing with. You can't play games and expect to win and have bad practices. Practices give you the confidence to know that you can go out and beat any and everybody you play against. So we shouldn't have 3 bad practices before a game, 2 bad practices before a game, and hope we turn on the light switch. There was nothing in our practices that would have indicated the second half the way we played. Nothing. That has to change. If that means we have to practice harder, longer, I guess that's what we'll have to do. But I'm hoping that we continue to get better, and there are places where we're getting better. I just need it for them to translate into a W. Questions?
Kenny, on the last shot, did you think it was good initially before you saw the replay?
I thought it was close. I thought initially it was good. But then as the refs got together, I could tell there was something. A couple of the coaches said it's good, congratulations, but, you got to earn it. I don't want it to be flim. I want to earn it. I really want. I want them to earn it. I want them to walk out of the gym. Let's say we win that game, and we go shake the other team's hands. I want to feel that the other team knows that this is a really good team. I don't want opponents walking through shaking our hands feeling like they got away with one, if that makes sense.
Kenny, prior to that, App State's coming up the floor. It looked like you wanted them to foul. Was the decision trying to get them to foul a little bit sooner than they did, or what was the call there?
Maybe a second or two quicker. We was hoping to trap them and get them into a turnover, which you could tell they were a little bit shaky. But at the last second, he made the foul. It was 9 or 10 seconds. I can't remember exactly. But it really didn't, as it played out, still could have got the same basket a fraction earlier. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we could have got it a fraction earlier.
When you're talking about what you need, are you talking about guys playing with more intensity on defense, rebounding better, attacking the rim on offense harder?
I'm talking about a little bit of all of it, Rick. I'm talking about understanding that the best offensive teams are the best passing teams. How many assists do we have? 6. Who you gonna beat? That means the ball is not moving. That means we're not driving and kicking. That means we're not assisting our teammates. That means it's one pass, two pass, and a shot. I want us to have 15 assists. I want us to have 15 assists, 20 assists. I want us to be a great passing team. I want us to move the ball. There were plays in the first half when constantly we've been preaching from day one, the ball doesn't stick. The ball doesn't stick. You're never going to catch the ball and not knowing what you're going to do with it. You're never going to catch the ball and take 2 dribbles and then pass it. You're never going, that guy passes it after 2 dribbles, then he throws it to the next guy, he takes 2 dribbles. It's never going to happen. We don't practice that way. We don't want to play that way. We want the ball to move. We want to move the defenses, and then when we do dribble it, we're going north-south, meaning toward the basket, toward the lane. That's what we practice. But for some reasons, the emotions of the game, we get in the game and guys refuse to move. It's not just the guy's fault. A guy refuses to move to come up to give him a passing angle, and so he dribbles. It's a bunch of different things. It's the rebounding. We can't be a bad rebounding team and expect to win. It's the straight line drives, keeping the ball in front. We've been working on it a while now, and I'm saying retreat. I don't care how far you retreat, just retreat until he has to make a shot over you. We know what happens if he's around you, he's going to make a shot. So we've been working on these things, and I wish that they could get it and embrace it and do it consistently. I guess we'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they get it. And when they do get it, they'll see different results. And let me say this, they deserve to have success. And I know they don't at times believe it. They're young, and so we don't have a bunch of experience. But we need to have some luck, some success, so that we can build on it. And it's not about me, it's about them. So I feel bad for them, but I also know I want to deserve a win. I want us to go out and fight and get a win, not something good happens on the last play. There's a million plays that happen before that should determine a win and a loss.
Yeah, you kind of spoke about it a little bit, but it seemed like in the first half, you guys were getting a lot of good, passing and ball movement, but just, shots weren't going up until there were like 6 seconds on the shot clock, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Are you trying to get those shots off, did you like the passing there, or was it something where you're going back and looking at it? Are you, kind of hoping that guys are taking more shots? Because it seemed like they just kept wanting to work the ball around and no one was wanting to take that shot.
2 things, great point that you just made. One, the ball should never be going around the perimeter and not toward the basket. So if the ball moves and it hits the other side of the court, then that person needs to get in that lane and create mismatches, create a drive, which defenses collapse. We know they're going to collapse. They're playing a pack line defense. We make the extra pass. We get any shot we want. We can get layups off that. We can get lobs off that. We can get wide open threes. I don't want us selling for threes. I don't want to walk in at halftime and 50% of our shots are threes. I don't think we're that type of team. We don't practice that way. And we're getting better around the basket posting up. We got multiple guys that can post up. And that's helping us a little bit, but we have to do a better job of making quick passes, moving the ball, and getting down into the paint and creating offense.
When you did start to reel them in a little bit in the second half, what was happening for your guys then? What were they doing? Were they doing something better or differently or just more energetically?
I just think it's impossible to create fast break baskets when they're scoring. If they're scoring, now Danny's in my ear, Kenny, KP, they're shooting 65%, they're shooting 68%. Well, how can we get in transition if we're giving up that percentage? That's not who we are. That's not what we talked about. We talked about we need this to be a defensive game, not an offensive game. We knows what happens if we try to you score, I score. We're going to go on a drought, and they're going to keep scoring. So for me, it's about the first half. We got to get stops. We got to run good offense, and we got to make sure that we're taking good shots. And if it's in 5 seconds in the clock, great. If it's with 30 seconds in the clock, great. I just want good shots.
Kenny, just curious about, I guess, Devin Ree, Fabio, Rose. Are they dinged up, just not ready to play, or?
A little bit of both. Again, I just believe you deserve it. Make me believe that you want it by your practice habits, by what you're doing every single day. We need somebody to come help us get a win. And the little things matter. Whether it's being on time to tutors, whether it's being on time to class, whether it's going to get treatment, whether it's massage therapy, whatever it is, be on time. When you come to practice to fight, not to not fight. And I'll reward you when you do that. They're good kids. I'm waiting on Fabio. I'm waiting on Devin Ree. I need them to help us win, but I'm not going to give it to them. They will earn it.
Yeah, with Jalen in foul trouble, you played Hersey more in the second half, had a little bit of a smaller lineup. It seemed like you were better offensively. Were you happy with the second half offense?
I thought Hersey was very good. And just so that I'll give this to everyone, if Hersey Miller is solid for us, that's a big win. That's a big win. If he's under control and just playing solid, he's a good defender. He can take the ball out of L's hands, and we can mix it up some and make L what he naturally is, a scorer. That helps us. So I'm happy with the way he played. I'm proud of him. He's making strides in his game. He's getting better. There's more in there, and we got to dig it out. There's more production in there that he can give us. We will dig it out. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.